There's this pervasive idea in the industry that achieving a clean core in SAP is like this monumental all or nothing big bang project. But what if that's fundamentally wrong? It's a misconception that holds a lot of companies back, framing it as this destination you might never reach. This is Neptune Talks, where we share short insights on SAP execution and innovation. Today, we're talking about what a pragmatic, achievable path to SAP Clean Core actually looks like, and why it's more of a journey than a destination.
That's a huge topic, and you're right that all or nothing idea is the first myth we really need to bust. I mean, I think it paralyzes organizations. They look at decades of custom code and just think it's impossible.
Exactly. The reality is, clean core isn't a state of absolute purity you achieve overnight. It's an ongoing discipline. It's a North Star guiding your decisions, not a one time project. The goal is simply to keep your digital core, like S4HANA, as close to standard as possible.
Right. So it's less about ripping everything out and more about, changing how you add new functionality moving forward. You keep the core clean by avoiding modifications to SAP standard code and by decoupling extensions wherever possible.
Exactly. It's like you're trapped by your own history.
And the reason that's so important is because a cluttered core, one that's full of custom ABAP code, creates like a kind of technical debt that compounds over time. It makes upgrades incredibly painful, slow, and expensive. Every time SAP releases a new feature or security patch, you're faced with a massive project to ensure your customizations don't break. This means the business can't react quickly to market changes. They're stuck in a rigid system that's difficult to adapt.
And this is where the conversation gets interesting because there are, different ways to do that. The main debate is often between on-stack extensions and side-by-side extensions.
Okay, so let's break that down. On-stack or in-app extensions are built directly inside the S4 HANA ABAP environment. They're tightly integrated with SAP processes and typically leverage ABAP cloud principles and released APIs. While side-by-side extensions run outside the SAP core on platforms like SAP BTP or Neptune DXP.
So, on-stack extensions are a good fit for things that are, really tightly coupled with core SAP processes. They leverage the same security and data models, which can be an advantage. But, and it's a big but, they also tend to align more closely with SAP's release cycles and development stack, which can limit flexibility for some innovation scenarios.
Which, I mean, limits your agility. That's where side by side extensions come in. They run on a completely separate platform. This decouples your custom applications from the SAP core. So when it's time to upgrade S4 HANA, you don't have this massive tangled web of dependencies to worry about.
And importantly, SAP itself now recognizes that Clean Core isn't binary. SAP introduced Clean Core levels from A through D, and Neptune is certified at level C for S4HANA Private Cloud.
Which is important because a lot of enterprise environments still require governed access to SAP internals during transformation. So Clean Core isn't about forcing every company into one architectural model overnight.
Exactly. It's about reducing technical debt progressively while staying upgrade safe and flexible moving forward. That decoupling is the critical benefit. Think about it from a business perspective. The old way was like customizing the core. An upgrade meant freezing all new projects for months, followed by endless regression testing. With a side-by-side approach, your custom apps just keep running, communicating with the core through stable, approved APIs. The upgrade process becomes dramatically simpler.
Dramatically simpler, yeah. And it allows innovation to happen at like a different speed. The business needs a new mobile app for its sales team. They can't wait for the next major SAP release cycle. With a side by side platform like the Neptune DXP, you can build and deploy that app in weeks, not years.
I'd argue that's true, but we should be clear, it's not always an either or situation. OnStack has its place, and for many SAP customers, especially during transformation, the reality is a hybrid model for quite some time. That's why Neptune supports both approaches on one platform.
I see what you're saying, but I think the strategic advantage of side by side is even stronger than that. It's not just about freedom, it's about future proofing. You're no longer locking your business logic into a proprietary black box. You're building on platforms that are more open, allowing you to use skills and technologies that aren't specific to one vendor. That's a huge long term win.
That's a fair point. A very strong point, actually. So, if we accept that side by side is a powerful strategy, how does a company practically get started? They're still looking at that mountain of old ABAP code.
Right, back to the how. It starts with, analysis and prioritization. You don't boil the ocean, you look at your existing customizations and ask three questions. What's providing real business value and should be kept? What's obsolete and can be retired? And what's critical but clunky and should be rebuilt as a modern side by side extension?
So it's like a strategic cleanup, not just a technical one. You focus your effort where it matters most to the business. Maybe you start with a customer-facing process or a mobile solution for the shop floor, something that delivers a quick, visible win.
Exactly. You prove the value, build momentum, and tackle the next priority. Each application you build side by side is one less customization tying you to the core. It's an incremental process that systematically reduces your technical debt and increases your agility over time.
And that's the pragmatic path. It's not a single scary project. It's, a series of deliberate, value-driven steps. For listeners who want to see what this looks like in practice, there are some great examples of how companies are doing this at neptunesoftware.com.
It really shifts the mindset from a massive cost center to a continuous innovation engine. So, if we were to boil this all down, what's the one thing people should remember?
The key takeaway is achieving an SAP Clean Core is not an all-or-nothing technical project, but, a strategic, ongoing discipline. The most effective path is to systematically build new functionality as side-by-side extensions, decoupling innovation from the core to increase business agility.
If you want more short insights like this on SAP, follow Neptune Talks. And if you want to explore more, you can visit neptunesoftware.com.